Hello and welcome to LexLocal. I'm your host, Rick Dorrington. In today's top story, we delve into a topic that many find difficult to discuss. The harrowing events unfolding in Israel and Gaza are resonating globally, and they are certainly being felt here in our community. There have been 2 vigils held in Lexington to bring people together and help them feel supported. We spoke with Rabbi Lerner from Temple Amunah to get his take on the situation in the Middle East and ask how our community here in Lexington can cope with the anxiety around such tragic events.
So the anxiety level is high. It's exacerbated by Hamas when they called for a day of resistance. Their charter isn't just against Israel. It's a charter that says, right, we actively want to kill every Jew. So it's a good question of how we cope with that. Part of it is by actually making sure that we're secure here physically in our space, and to make sure that we have the right approach to security and make sure we're protected physically. Emotionally, I'd say the way that we help each other is by being together. We had a gathering the Wednesday night right after this terrible tragedy where we had about 250 members of the community who came together. The following week, last week, we organized all 3 synagogues in Lexington, a gathering out at Hastings Park. And that was a time where people came together. We had candles. It was a vigil, but just being together with other people is incredibly reassuring and comforting. Feel incredibly grateful that here in Lexington, a number of clergy and part of our interfaith clergy association and different faiths have come together in support. There are beautiful flowers downstairs that were brought to us by a church in Lexington. There have been cards sent to us. Members of other communities, religious leaders have come and joined us at these gatherings. And that's been an incredible gift and a support. And I think that makes people feel less alone. In my preaching, I've tried to share messages of, even though this is such a challenging time, we always hold out a message of hope. Every Jewish service ends with a prayer for peace. We can't ever lose a sense of hope that even in this dark time, even in this really challenging situation, right, we are going to come together and continue to affirm life. We collected huge numbers of supplies, baby formula, diapers, for all those communities that were attacked, massacred back on October 7th. Those population have been relocated. And so we've been sending them supplies to help them. But it also helps us because then we feel like we're participating.
We also feel it's important to include the views of the Muslim members of our community. We're told that Muslims typically don't attend vigils, but rather fast and pray collectively. We reached out, but no one agreed to appear on camera. One person, who wanted to remain anonymous, did give us a quote. Many of my Palestinian and Middle Eastern friends in Lexington are unable to function normally. They live in constant fear of losing another loved one. Yet, when Arabs or Muslims dare speak up or voice their solidarity with the plight of Palestinian people, they risk being harassed and bullied at work, or by friends and other community members. Now, we asked the Lexington Police Department if there has been an uptick in reports or a need to bolster security. They, however, declined to make a statement. Rabbi Leonard did comment. He shared a message on how coming together now is more important than ever.
When there are conflicts in various parts of the world, we've seen more hatred fill spaces here in America. We see it in Europe right now. There's been increased attacks on Jewish communities throughout Europe and increased attacks, on Jewish synagogues and other places. Here in America, we see levels of anxiety, which then lead to, the fear then leads to anger, and then people act on that. The attack on the young boy in Illinois and his mother, absolutely devastating. So we see this increase in Islamophobia, and we see an increase in anti-Semitism. Right now, a huge spike in anti-Semitism. I know that more than the Islamophobia, but I know that community and those communities feel threatened. And that is absolutely destructive to everything we care about here in America. In our area, right, we were able to build, and we've been building relationship between communities. We want everyone to feel safe and cared for. At a moment like this, in a way, we need each other even more than before. And that's really hard. And I hope everyone finds ways of feeling supported and cared for. And my community, mourns every loss of life, whether they're Muslim, Christian, Jewish, whatever nationality. There were 29 nationalities impacted by the terrorist attack. We send a message of love and support to everyone. I think the world needs to approach life with the sanctity that it deserves. Every human being is sacred, and I think we lost sight of that basic humanity that everyone possesses. Even when you disagree with someone, the ability to listen to someone and to approach them with kindness and to affect change in the world starts with that ability to say every person has a spark of the divine within them. And that's a message that we need to spread. And when that spreads, I think people listen to each other differently. I think they act with one another differently. And that ultimately can bring a different kind of energy into the world.
Why can't we talk to each other was the topic on the table at the most recent Lexington Lyceum Advocates Community Conversation. This talk felt relevant now more than ever. Here are a few highlights from that conversation.
Thank you, David. What I took from that, and hopefully you did too, was that first off, civility is necessary, but it is not sufficient, that we have to address real issues in multiple ways and in very honest ways, so we're not solving for the wrong problem. I love the idea of bringing together different stakeholders, right, that have different concerns to see that maybe these concerns can help each other, right? What we're concerned about, it doesn't have to be an either or. And of course, it's going to come from a space of deep listening, really listening past it. And I loved what I felt was the idea of sitting down with people to break bread, eat a meal, right? It's difficult to hate somebody when they're feeding you, you know what I mean? And that the idea that Democrats believe that Republicans are more conservative than they actually are, and Republicans believe Democrats are more conservative than they actually are. And it ensconced in my mind this idea that we're not poles, but we're constellations, right? And if we speak to the constellation of the individual instead of the polar part that we perceive the individual is about, then maybe we have more success with that. So thank you for bringing that to us.
All across the country, and I've done it in my own community in Gloucester, Massachusetts, where I live, we can have a conversation, we can have a fight about anything, right? Anything at all, we can divide ourselves. And if we played that out and stopped talking to one another about all of the things we disagree about, we would, each of us, be by ourselves, talking to ourselves about these things. And that's in some ways all we need, because the script has been written for us. We know what other people are going to say. So where I find hope and where I find belief is in communities like this, people like you. And when I'm asked to talk about this at a community, I often say, do you know who to turn to in your community when an issue arises? When somebody proposes a charter school, when somebody proposes to shut down 2 schools and build one and we're not sure where it's going to be, when somebody has a disagreement about which books are going to be in the library, when somebody has a disagreement about what to do, let's say, with affordable housing. Do you know who to turn to help support and design that conversation to invite people to really be seen, really be known for the things that they care about? Do they know enough to have a meal beforehand? Do they know enough to ask for a story and not just a position? So that in the best of times, when you have a decision to be made, you can be inclusive and creative and collaborative. In the worst of times, you can be resilient to that pull to dehumanize each other.
Now, I recommend you watch the full conversation on our YouTube channel, LexMedia TV, and please visit lexlyceum.org to stay abreast of all their upcoming events. We'll be right back after this break. Stay with us. Well, it's the talk of the town. It's fast, it's fun, and can be played at almost any age. Yes, it's pickleball. Pickleball's popularity is skyrocketing, but with it comes new challenges, a clamor for dedicated courts, and debates about noise levels. Founder of the Lexington Pickleball Club says despite the challenges, pickleball is a great way to bring the community together.
Basically, as the game gets popular, we needed to get organized to work with the town to start asking for resources like courts and time to play. So we went from a couple of people meeting in Doreen's house, as I said, maybe 12 of us, and now we have 297 members, as I last checked yesterday. So, I think that the couple of levels, right? First of all, pickleball is a good sport that you just experienced, so we want to encourage its growth and support its growth. So I think Lexington needs a long-term strategy to figure out where to put dedicated courts. If you look at our neighbors, Belmont, Burlington, Arlington, Waltham, they have amazing facilities right now. So I think as a Lexingtonian, I think we should be better, right? But short term, we just want to have even places to play. So we have some dedicated court times, which is great. But what really makes the game different is if we have, let's say, Adams Field here, become a dedicated facilities, people can just come in, kind of like pick up basketball, then people tend to play more. Otherwise, right now, even though I live close by, I'm not going to show up here and see what's going on because half the time there'll be tennis people here, and it's fine, right? So that's what we're trying to get to, some kind of dedicated space in the very, very short term, and then a long-term strategy of having more pickleball everywhere.
So nice to have a place to go to meet people. The beauty of it is you can come from different towns because you want to play with different players. It's nice to have a space where you can drop in because pickleball you can try to get, it's like you get 2 people, you get 102 people. Trying to get 4 is tricky. So when you have a space that you can come to and people just can show up and we can see it online, it's a wonderful service to the community. People have a lovely time together. We enjoy each other's company. You make friends. And best of all, it's something that so many people can do. A grandma and their grandchild can play together. A grandparent and grandchild can play together, and either one can win the game. So it really is a beautiful game. So thank you to the towns who do open this up to our communities because it is a gift to all of us.
Pickleball community is very welcoming. I mean, I've made a lot of friends, people I might never have met before. It's fun. It's just a lot of fun. It's a nice way to get exercise. We don't have any courts in the center. They're all tennis courts, and there aren't enough places to play.
So the Lexington community is growing, and as I said, we have open house every month, and every time there are new people showing up. So we get to meet a lot of people. I want to say that most of us became friends. We started to have social events outside of the courts. So the joke is, oh, it's great to see you outside of your pickleball clothes, and that started to happen. So I think it's a great community building thing. I think it's a continued path, right? Minimally for the next season, it'll be great to have some dedicated facilities to help the community grow, which is what we just talked about. But going forward, we need to find some locations and have actual dedicated nice outdoor space that people can come. There'll be bathrooms, parking. If you are a fan of pickleball, let the town know. So certainly email the Lexington Recreation Committee, join the club, but most importantly, just come play.
The sky was the limit for students at Bowman Elementary School when they had a very special visitor, Daniel Dancer. Terry Samaras captured the excitement.
Welcome to a colorful journey that reaches for the skies and where young artists become a part of something extraordinary. At Bowman Elementary School, an innovative art project known as Art for the Sky has been igniting the imaginations of the students. Conceived by artist Daniel Dancer, this project transcends traditional boundaries, merging the world of art and the boundless sky. With human canvases adorned in a vibrant spectrum of colors, a drone soars hundreds of feet into the air, capturing a breathtaking image that is both awe-inspiring and meaningful. I met up with Daniel Dancer so he can explain how Art for the Sky is transforming the way we view art in the open skies.
And as a kid, I was always fascinated with birds and tried one of these, and people loved it. And there's a lot that you can learn from getting everybody together, creating something magnificent, everybody on the same page, collaborating. That's one of the main teachings. I've done almost 500 other projects over the last 2 decades in 45 states and 8 countries. And that's all I do. I have a piece of graph paper with a design on it, and then I create a grid on the field and put down mulch for the shape of the design, and there we go. I suggested, it's fall, how about a beautiful tree? And they loved it.
After getting the outline of the tree laid down with mulch and wrangling the kids outside, it was time to get everyone in position. Daniel started by bringing all the kids wearing black to represent everything involving the tree, from the trunk to the branches. Then, kids wearing red, yellow, and orange were positioned near the edges to represent the leaves. After strategically placing them within the outline, Daniel has the kids kneel down to expose their backs to the sky. With everyone in place, the drone goes up in the sky to produce an incredible image and unforgettable memories.
The main teaching of Art for the Sky, and you might have seen some kids do it, is Sky Sight. And this is the Sky Sight sign that they learned, which is the big picture view of the world. And so awakening our Sky Sight, learning to see the big picture, learning to see through the eyes of the earth and future generations, that's where all the creative solutions to our problems, that's where it lives.
The Lexington School Committee handed out Core Value Awards. They're given to students and teachers who exemplify the school system's core values and model its mission statement: joy in learning, curiosity in life, and compassion in all we do.
And welcome. I'm so glad to see everyone here today for our first Core Values celebration of the school year. We started this back, I think, during the second year of the pandemic as a way to kind of reward all of those little efforts that make our school system such a great place to be every day. So I'm so excited for you all to be here to share that with us. Big round of applause.
I'm extremely proud of her and can't wait to see what she does next. And please join me in giving a big round of applause to a talented musician and a beautiful person inside and out, Miss Layla Hood.
And now, an update on the LexSEHer project. Work continues on the monument to honor the women whose contributions have shaped Lexington.
I'm Jessie Steigerwald. I'm the president of LexSEHer Inc., and we are a community organization proudly bringing a new monument here to Lexington. So right over my shoulder, we can see the plaza, which is going to be a 28-foot granite plaza. And in the spring, we're going to see a bronze monument get added there. And the monument is called Something is Being Done. And right now, today, we're out here collecting people's contributions to our ribbon, which will be used for the ribbon cutting ceremony for the completed monument. So what people are being invited to do here is add their name and then the name of a woman who is important to them in their life. It could be someone they know, it could be someone they never met, but it's an opportunity to really recognize women's contributions across time. It's a big thing here, and we're really proud to get people involved.
Autumn is always a special time here in New England. As the leaves turn golden and the air gets crisp, Lexington comes alive with celebrations. The pumpkins come out and porches are transformed into stages. Take a look.
Out to the other side. You can crawl, but you can't hide.
Hosting this every October to welcome fall and welcome the season. Last year's Pumpkin Fest was big. We actually had around 400 people come walk out. I'm already seeing a huge crowd walking in, and definitely helped the downtown businesses and the restaurants. A lot of new people who are coming into Lexington. It's a welcome time to them. So we have someone carving pumpkins, and we have a beer garden. The aerialist, she goes all the way up 10 feet of the pole, and she comes back and she does a lot of acrobatics. It's fun to watch her do that.
Hi, my name is Paul Dever. I'm a professional pumpkin carver here today at the Lexington Pumpkin Fest. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to carve a face that indicates the happiness we're feeling right now because it's not raining. All right, we've had a pretty rainy summer, so I'm going to give the kids something nice and light and fun that they can take pictures with, and they can enjoy watching me carve, so it'll be happy.
And what are you dressed up as here today?
Oh, I'm a witch, and you could also call me Professor McGonagall if you like.
Now, those are scenes from Porch Fest and Pumpkin Fest. We leave you today with one of our favorite events from the whole year. That's trick-or-treating in the center. From all of us here at LexLocal, I'm your host, Rick Dorrington. Enjoy this. Thank you.
I've seen a ton of princesses, fairies, football players. I've seen tons of everything. I love it. Happy Halloween.